Okay, what's up, guys? I'm actually using my Xbox One today. I've got an Xbox Series X, but I've also got an Xbox One, which finally got hooked up. So, as you can see, we're on the Games tab, and I've got Tony Hawk's downloading. I'm planning to do like a full game video on both of them. So they'll be their own videos, but it'll be a full playthrough of each game. Might do that, and then these are some of the games that are already on here, which I'll end up going through a few of them eventually, I reckon. I'm going to do GoldenEye soon, I think. Full playthrough of that on the Xbox 360, on the Xbox One. But I'm still not sure what I was going to do for this video. But I was thinking we'll play some, Call of Juarez Gunslinger. I know it's the Xbox One, but we're playing an Xbox 360 game. But I thought I'd just use this console. I will play some Xbox One games for definite. Just choosing this one today. So I have played this like years ago. I remember enjoying it. I don't know how well it was sort of rated kind of thing, but I remember enjoying it. And I do like Western games. Right. If anybody wants to add me, that you've seen my gamer tag, if you want to add me. I don't really play any games online or anything, but go ahead if you'd like. Just the slider until the logo on the left is completely invisible. Obviously it might differ on the playback, but yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to go into the main game, I think. Oh, I don't know what the arcade mode is. That must be some kind of multiplayer. Yeah. Let's play some of the story for a bit. Ooh. There's no easy setting, but we'll play it on normal. Looks like it was when cars were just coming in. The end of the cowboy days.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be.
Well, what are you doing here in Abilene?
Just passing through. Got a little business to take care of.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar. Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Any of them true?
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with Billy the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawman who crossed it.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
Okay. I think there's 2 of these games on 360. I don't think there's any on PS2. And there is one on Xbox One, I think.
It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs. I threw in with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that sumbitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, haha?
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
Okay, so I guess we're just following the path. I don't know. It looks a bit cell shaded. Sorry, the graphics. Well, I've got it on the projector, but that's how it looks anyway. It's interesting. I don't think it is meant to be, but it kind of looks it. Yeah, I'm not sure what way we're supposed to be going. Turn to the hideout. Right, okay. I think we're just supposed to go in here. Don't know how you run.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
Yeah, it does look a bit cell shaded. I don't know where the hideout is. Return to the hideout. Oh, okay. Oh, I can run now. What? Is it actually telling me where to go, or? Oh yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Is he with us?
Ooh. Okay.
Was it Pat
Oh,
Garrett's
how do you
posse?
duck? Right.
Oh yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out a bit. So that's just what I did.
Oh, damn it. Oh, I wanted to get a headshot.
As the
Oh, no.
governor of New Mexico was paying for the kid's apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
Nice. I think that's the thing about Western games is I seem to, well, I think I enjoy them whether they're third person or first person. I know Red Dead you can do both. And weirdly Red Dead's, well, both of the Red Dead games are games I've never really played that much, weirdly, as much as I do love a good Western game. There's something about this and oh sorry, that game Gun as well. So that's a first person and a third person kind of Western game, or two games that I really enjoy. Ooh. Okay. Lots of unlockables or collectibles. I won't worry too much about like adding skills and stuff. Oh. What? Okay. Yeah, I won't worry too much about this. It's more about just the playthrough, but yeah, you can upgrade the gun. What does this do? Oh wow, yeah, I'd have to play this a bit to really get to grips with this, but oh well, yeah, I'll get that. So we can have 2 revolvers. Oh, we've got an achievement. That's weird. I thought I'd played this before. Maybe I've not played this before. No, I'm sure I have. That might maybe explain that if it is cell shaded. But I'm pretty sure I'd played all the Call of Juarez games, or Juarez, sorry.
Still, one of them reached the water tower.
Whoop. You can avoid lethal shots only when you sense a death is fully charged.
Shoot from up there.
Oh yeah, cool. That was quite cool.
Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools.
Come on. Oh really? Damn it. Where's the checkpoint? Hopefully not too far back. I go up here. Oh, hold. Oh.
The right position is very important. Personally, I prefer to be on top.
Oh, you do?
Indeed, darling.
Ooh.
But where was I? Oh, yeah. A lot of them were saddle
Hold on.
tramps or side
Even though I'm not
buzzers
exactly doing well
looking to make a few bucks.
aiming wise. I don't know if there's any... No. Oh no, auto aim off. Yeah, take it off. And then just check it's actually taken off. Yep. Oh god. Maybe I should have stuck with the auto aim. Sorry, my aim is not very good. It's weird. I'm actually having to get used to the more sensitive controls as opposed to being used to the clunky PS2 controls. This is how it felt originally, I think, switching from PS2 to Xbox. Even though it was a lot smoother, somehow it felt really hard because you were so used to janky controls. Well, you weren't used to the precision, basically, that you could have. Oh no. It's like I'm over-aiming because I end up not actually aiming on them. The fact that I'm using a projector as well is a little bit sad that I'm not better aim.
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you! Watch your flank! Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house.
Saying that, I suppose it's it might just be taking into account the weapons you're using. Sorry, I can't get my words out today. Because these older guns wouldn't have had as much range as a pistol by modern standards, or a handgun kind of thing. Oh, that will explode, but I don't want to shoot it whilst I'm right near it. Might shoot it from down here though if I can. Oh no, I'm going to die again.
Cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house.
Ah, I thought it might blow up everything up there. Right, how'd you reload?
And like that, I was inside. None the worse
Oh, yeah.
for wear.
I need to remember the, well, equivalent of bullet time sort of thing if it was Red Dead. Oh, God.
I passed 30 days. And upstairs, I found Billy and Charlie Baldwin.
Right. Billy the Kid.
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm.
Oh, the one over it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Garrett's men
Yeah,
were
with the
dropping
graphics and
flies, but they just kept on coming.
with the graphics and like when it comes up with the points when you shoot them, it was very arcadey, but it does seem to work quite well. Oh god, I don't know if it's my aim or if it's the distance. Like I say, the range on the guns.
That's when Charlie got hit.
Oh,
They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy.
oh god.
Get to the other side.
Cool. And it tells you sometimes what you shot. Yeah. Oh, this is really fun. I'm loving this. Come on. Oh.
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatling, Billy shouted.
Oh god.
Get the horses and bring them round back.
Bring the
I'll draw
horses
their
from the
attention.
stable. Can you ride a horse in this? I can't
He
remember.
directed that order at me, and I thought,
Great.
why the hell do I have to do it?
Alright.
Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack, he's just joshing with you.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Oh. Yeah, you can
Please,
melee as well.
always
Just
silent.
literally just thought about that.
Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Oh, look at that. Weird. I literally just learnt the melee before it taught me. Whoa.
Making my way past the castle of fallen.
Okay. Lovely.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Oh, can I pick up?
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up.
Oh.
Finally, I had the stables within my reach.
Okay.
And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
Oh. Already having
You challenged him to a showdown.
a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
Oh. Yeah, vaguely remember this. Keep your enemy focus. Keep your enemy in focus using right stick. Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah. Yes. You need to keep it focused on him. Probably, preferably like on the head or whatever. when the opponent reaches for their gun, right trigger to draw your weapon, aim with, yeah, and then shoot with, oh, right, okay. Oh, no, no, no. Oh,
Man, that
cool.
you killed him in a fair fight.
Ooh.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables.
What? Oh, sorry, this controller is a little bit... It's not low on battery, it's just... can be a little bit temperamental.
Stepped inside, and...
Oh.
Last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
Ooh. Let's see, skills. Can we get any more skills? I still don't quite understand them all yet, but yeah. Yeah, might as well get that. More capacity for the ammo. Bloody controller. And we'll continue. I don't know if that counts as like mission 1, episode 1. Maybe episode 1. I noticed it said episode 1 when he was had that book at the beginning.
So what happened? Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
Episode 1. So in episode 1 then, I guess. Oh no, maybe
And the
not.
kid surrendered? When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Ooh. I've not really followed the story so far, if I'm honest, but looks like we're going to jail.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after.
1881.
He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Nice. Thank
My
you.
first order of business was finding a firearm.
Right, need a firearm.
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Nice.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Wow, look at this.
Hell yeah. That scattered gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing. The kids escaped raised a huge ruckus.
Right, how am I getting out? Oh no, I do. I think he did say I have to go upstairs.
Guards were everywhere looking for him. Can't get away.
Use the rooftop to escape, right?
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but
Oh god.
some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms.
Oh no, now where? Or just down here.
Certainly,
Oh,
as a
what?
fugitive.
That wasn't that far down. Right. But where now? Oh. Oh. Up here.
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there.
Yeah, it's useful having
I
that.
tried to
The
be stealthy and sneak my way past.
yeah, the little marker telling you where you're going. Wonder how far back the word stealth goes. Because he just said it then, obviously. Oh, this is a game though, so. Ooh, nice. So he's trying to be stealthy, which I think isn't working.
Hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
Yeah. Alright, get it. Close and personal.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and color. I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
How'd you like that?
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high, if you ask me.
Right, much change to that actually.
You're threatening the lives of innocent people.
What was that show? Oh. Okay, so we're trying to escape the town, I believe.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free.
Oh. Oh, no. That was like quick time then. They've got a lot of elements in this, I gotta say. They've got like, well, quick time and bullet time. Yeah. And the breaching
So
and
I could
yeah.
be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck
That's
out of
awesome.
town.
Oh god. Blimey. Yeah, a lot of...
I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on it.
I know Red Dead's got all this, but yeah. Just a lot of
Because
cool
everybody
scenery
in
and stuff.
Lincoln would be dead.
No, 'cause they all thought
No, man.
I was Billy, and all that blame would fall on him.
Oh, wow. What? Oh, no. God, he's like kamikaze. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. I think I forged the head too quickly. That's cool how he slumped on there. Oh, yeah, so like I say, I'm sure I've played this before. I was just surprised when the achievements came up because I've got the same gamer tag as I've always had for my Xbox, so I know I definitely would have played it on my console, so a bit surprised really when the achievements came up. Come on. Takes a bit longer to reload the dual weapons, but nice. I really suck at shooting people when they're running, sort of thing.
I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Well, sure he did. Dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob.
Uh-oh.
I said, I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball.
Right.
He
We know how to do
intended to
this.
kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Adjust your hand position. Oh yeah, right. Oh no, did that count? No, we both died. Yeah. So you can adjust your hand position as well as doing this aim. With the right stick I'm aiming what's hovering over his head, and with the left stick you can adjust your hand here. I don't know why that makes a difference particularly, but... And I don't know if I've got to wait for him. Yeah.
I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
buy that. So yeah, I think I'll do one more of these levels and then we'll call that a video, I think. Or call it a day, however you want to look at it. This is really fun. I think I might play the rest of this just not as a video
So
sort of
where'd
thing.
you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
Episode 2.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Yeah, it's very Red Dead, isn't it? All this. It's always an old style picture. The kind of text they've used and everything. I'm not saying they're copying or vice versa or whatever, but yeah.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. And yes, he was working for old man Clanton.
I hate fucking running.
I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man. Over there! There! I did my best to help those poor bastards. Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing.
Anybody still alive?
None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did.
Oh god.
They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of
Oh right,
nowhere,
wow. Got the Apaches
and
on
there
me.
never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force.
It is funny how they play with that. Like play with the gameplay and stuff. Or the, you know, the time. Play with time and stuff. And the story. Come on.
See, at the time, I was still pretty green, but often blunder into regrettable situations. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks.
Oh god. Oh god.
I didn't see Ringo.
No.
I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge.
Surprised there wasn't a long range weapon in there.
But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first.
Oh, there's one up there, that's why.
Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up.
Yeah, right. It's funny how... Oh, God. It's funny, though, how it keeps putting this into the story.
Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think this is just meant to happen.
Serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
I need more ammo then, huh?
I ran ahead.
I just gotta keep running.
Himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this? I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going.
Oh, God. Better go this way.
And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven. I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Pat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know.
Oh, lovely view. Right, so get rid of remaining enemies.
And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo.
Yeah.
That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the table. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right. I was done running. The old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. I came at them like a wildcat. My fury knew no bounds. Get him! It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Okay. Oh dear. Old man Clanton. Clanton? Uh-oh.
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, Clanton, I'm coming for you!
Yeah.
A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come. But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo.
I
needed to get that old man off that gun.
Yeah, I like the feel this game's got, I really do. And the way they're telling the story and everything. And the characters in it is really cool. Blimey. Gatling gun. Hold on, where is he? I don't know where he's firing from. Oh. No, I don't think I'm close enough yet.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Oh no. Oh no, I've got dynamite, haven't I? Ah, went too far. I think that might have got it. Oh god. Oh. Finally. Right. I'll get you, Clayton, Clanton, whatever your name is. Oh god. Oh, got more dynamite. Yeah. Oh, did not do that much damage to him. Oh, or did I not land near him? No, I didn't do it. Yeah, that's more like it. Oh, damn it. He was covered by that one. Oh, yeah. Right. Nice.
Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps. And that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the Old K Corral.
Wow. Awesome. So I think we'll leave it there for today, but yeah, I'm loving this game. I'm sure I've played it before, and I remember why I really liked it now. Like, that's really enjoyable. There's so many elements in there. Seems like a quite sort of funny story. Using some real elements, I think, like Billy the Kid. And things, like I say, like it's got the bullet time, sort of mini bosses like there, or just actual bosses, which will probably, there'll be more throughout the game, I'm guessing. The breaching as well, like when it did that briefly. Don't know. I don't have any complaints really about that. I don't know if there's a, well, there's not really, but I thought maybe there's a bit too much like cutscenes and all that kind of thing. But I'm not complaining. Like, and they're well done. They really are. And like I say, the scenery and everything, I'm really liking. It does sound silly to say when there's Red Dead out there. I know it sounds like I'm sort of from 10 years or 10, 20 years ago saying this. How amazing this is, if that makes sense. But yeah. But I've really enjoyed this, so I think I might actually, I don't know if I'll do another video for it, but I'll certainly play it some more in my own time, I think. So yeah. But thanks for joining me, guys, anyway. And I don't know what video will be next, or what game even, but I'll see you in that one. Cheers!